Hello, cherries. Welcome to Live Jerry Cherry Tuesday, special Tuesday, episode 161. Here I am in my hotel room in Tampa Bay, Florida, at Busch Gardens. I don't know if you've ever been here. It's a great theme park here. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the difference between the minor scale and the Dorian mode using the circle of fifths. And it's really important. You might have stumbled across this situation once or twice and figured out and asked yourself, what minor scale do I use over this? Two different types of minor chords. And so, yeah, I'm wearing glasses here today because I'm really close to the computer and it's hard to see when I'm really close. But next time I'll get another trackpad, I could hang out a little bit further back. But I'm going to get right to this lesson. I just want to say hello to my friend here in the chat here. Budweiser. Paul, I'll give you a round of applause. Thanks for hanging out with me here. A special Tuesday episode. And it's cold outside here. Yeah, it's been cold all across the country. I mean, we've traveled quite a bit. I'm on tour right now with SOS, direct from Sweden, the music of ABBA. And we're playing all over the place. And we started up in the Northeast. We went down to Jacksonville, then Miami, then back to Orlando. Now we're here in Busch Gardens in Tampa for a few days. Scott Olson, it's so good to see you. Give you a round of applause. All right, so good to hang out with me a little bit later. I usually go live on Sunday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. Here it is, 5 o'clock Eastern time. But we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do something very, 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 very cool. It's 18 degrees. Well, you know, it's a little bit warmer here in Tampa, Florida. It's 1 degree, Scott Olson is. Wow, that's cold. It's like 70 here, I think, you know, in Tampa. Let's see what it says here. It's 66 and it's drizzling. It's just been raining. Did our first set, 2 sets today in Tampa and at Busch Gardens, the Stanleyville Theater. And the crowds are good. They're going to be better tomorrow because I think it's going to be clear tomorrow. So I'm hunching over because I got this little narrow space so you can see my guitar. My computer's folded over a little bit. I'll have a broken back by the time we start here today. By the time we finish, actually. Or maybe even start. So, all right, hopefully you can hear me out there. My voice and my guitar. I got this Can't stay long? All right, well, we won't make this long, Mr. Osman, but it's good to see you. Give a round of applause. Let's get right into it. There are times where you're going to play a minor scale like this, and it's the E minor scale. Check it out. It's like a... It's like sad sounding, right? It's also known as the Aeolian mode. Aeolian mode. Aeolian mode, natural minor, it's the same exact thing. Sounds good? Thanks, Paul. So you have this minor scale, but it's not really like in a rock and roll sense. You know, if it's a classical sounding thing, if it's minor where it's you have a progression kind of like an E minor to a C chord to a D. E. You'll get away with that scale like. You know, so it's very like melancholy sounding. Then you have more of another type of minor scale, which is a Dorian mode, which sounds more happier. It sounds like this. You notice the difference with the sound here? You could even use it over a major chord. You know, so there's a difference right there in this two, and it's just one note difference. In the minor, you have a C, and on the Dorian, you have a C sharp. So it's either minor scale or the Dorian mode. The rest is the same. Or. And those are the most useful two minor scales that you're going to use. And what happens is the reason for this is, I'll tell you how to use them. Here's a progression, or here's the circle of fifths. I'm back to the circle of fifths here. The Aeolian mode, in the in its truest sense, E Aeolian, is in the key of G major. It's the natural minor to G. So if you look over here on the chart, on the circle of fifths, look where G is. It's 1 o'clock right there, the G. And you'll see the G note right there. And if you look to the top of it and to the bottom of it, the G is the 1 chord, the 4 is the 4 chord, and the D is the 5 chord. So you got a G, a C, and a D. Now the E is the 6 chord, and that's right in the inner circle, right inside of G. So it's the relative minor, where you have the A minor above it, and you have the B minor. So those are the 6 chords basically in that key. So I could play any of those chords and play that scale. So you have an E. If you go to the C chord, which is the 4 chord, and you go to the D, back to the E. That's where you would use like the Aeolian mode. So I have a C, because you have a C note. So you want to hit that C note in your scale. You know what I mean? You can play the E minor harmonic, the E pentatonic scale. Oh, I hit the wrong note there, but emphasize the C along with the E minor pentatonic. Or the minor scale. I always think of Randy Rhoads, when you have those notes that kind of like, he does that somewhere. It's very Randy Rhoads, very classical rock sounding. Now, E Dorian is a little bit different. E Dorian is like a 2 chord. It's not a 6 chord like the Aeolian. In the list of modes, if you look at it, the Dorian is the 2nd chord, so it's a little different. So the 2 chord, what is the 2? If you go back 1 to 1, so the 2, if E is a 2, then what is 1 going backwards? Well, it's D. D would be 1, E would be 2. So you're in the key of D. So look at the circle here and check out the D note, which is like 2 o'clock right there. Okay, D. Above it's the 4th, that's the G. Below it is the 5th, that's an A. So you would have a D chord like this, like a regular D cowboy chord. D, then you have a G and an A. So that's a 1, 4, 5. Dirty there. Right there, so you got that D, right? So if you put an E in there, that's where you're going to use the Dorian, because you're in a key of D now, but you're playing it over like an E chord. So check this out. So if you did like the E chord, but if you played to a G, to an A, that's where you would use a Dorian. You can hear it here in the chords. All I do is change one note, and I'm showing you where it comes from. It's so important to know this, because if you're learning a song, and you know that chords, you're listening to a song, and this is when I'm learning songs, this is the first thing I listen for. If it's in a minor key, I want to know, is it a 6 chord of something, or is it a 2 chord? Sometimes it's a 3 chord. To get into it a little bit crazier, because when you're in writing songs, that's the beauty of it. You could use any of them. Sometimes they use them together. But the easiest way to do it is to figure out what the 6th degree is of that minor. If I'm playing a song and it's just like, it's an E and then I hear a C chord, C major, I know that it's a minor, it's an Aeolian, pretty much an Aeolian riff, and I know that's going to be in the key of G, because those are the common chords in G. But I'm playing the relative minor. If I'm hearing an E minor, and next thing you know it goes to an A chord, I go, okay, so we're not in E anymore, because there's not an A major chord in E minor. So if you look back on the G note, that 1 o'clock, if you look in that little pizza, that little 6 waist under the C, you'll see A is minor. You'll figure out that A is the minor chord right there. A would be this chord. If you're hitting an E, and a C, an A minor, D, that was terrible. To a D, back to an E minor. To A minor. E. E. To E, A minor. You play it anywhere, as long as you know the degrees. A minor. Whereas if it was progression E Dorian, if I played an E and I went to an A, that's a very Pink Floyd sounding thing. He did that a lot. David Gilmour plays a lot of Dorian stuff. So you have a 2, it's like a 2-5 progression to a D. So the solo would be more like an E minor right there, right? Oops. So there are certain tricks that just give it away that I know that it's going to be in Dorian, like that. So any questions about this stuff, please let me know. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. I go live usually every Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time, but I'm on the road for a month straight traveling around. So I did last Sunday, I think early, like 9 o'clock. I tried to do this past Sunday, but it was almost impossible. We were traveling and playing pretty much 17 shows in like 19 days or something like that. It's pretty crazy. And so if you want to see like before show and sometimes in between, I post videos of the setup and the equipment and gear that I use on my Facebook channel, Jerry Cherry, Facebook/Jerry Cherry. Just look that up, check that out, and it's pretty fun. I keep in touch with everyone out there and talk about gear and songs and touring and things like that. So that's a good way to communicate and say hello if you're interested in that. So let's see what Scott is talking about here. Circle of Fifths is a songwriter's friend. It sure is. I really didn't even know the Circle of Fifths for most of my life. I think it maybe the last couple years I learned about it. I kind of learned it a different way. Almost the same stuff, but in a different way. I just learned the 7 diatonic chords, which I made a video for. I'll put a link in the description for that. And it's basically, there's 7 chords in every key. If it's G, you have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, right? So every one of those chords, every one of those notes has a chord. G. Let's What's that? This one's a weird one. Nope. It's like a. How can I even play it up here? G. And every one of them has a mode and has a chord to it. So I learned it that way. Basically, that's the same thing. If you know that, it's the same exact thing there. That's the key of G. If you did it in D, it'd be here. It'd be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. And this one once again, D. Of course, that's a solfege, and it's a movable solfege, and there are some really crazy, serious musicians that'll be very upset that I called do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in the key of any other key than C. They get upset, which is weird to me. And let's see what Paul's got to say over here. Let me close off this thing for a second. We'll get back to the circle of fifths in just a minute. But I copped that screenshot right here because I don't have any of my graphics with me here on the road. I should have just made a screenshot of a general thing. And check out my cup, my cherry cup. Wherever I go, I have a cherry cup. What's in here? This is like straight vodka right here. What is it? This is Sprite. This isn't vodka. You're fired. So, Paul, what are you saying? So the spelling is wrong, but do you still like the Friedman pedals? I'll tell you what. Friedman, F-R-I-E-D-M-A-N. And the only reason I know is because I'm looking at it right here. So I'm totally with you, Paul. I couldn't spell it either. It's F-R-I-E-D, Friedman, the RX one. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm using it right now. Kick on my dirty sound. I mean, the clean is pretty cool. I'm going right through a Scarlett interface. So it's not the best interface here, right into my computer. Pretty good. And I can kick on a slight, my hot tone blues drive on this. It sounds like this. Nice little. I can kick on with this channel 1 a Friedman BEOD overdrive, and it sounds like this. And that sounds pretty good too to the clean. But I also have an overdrive channel on the Friedman IRX pedal. And it's like this, more like. It sounds more natural. Has a boost on it too. Check this out for leads. Well, that tune there. That's all right. So it's a good sounding pedal. I'm really, really happy with it, especially since you could plug it right in to a sound system. So doing this live today, I was able to just grab my pedal board, bring it to the hotel, and just plug it right in to hear this today. I'm working on something that's really cool. I think the developers, and I'm really lucky. I got to speak with the developer of this pedal, and they're making like a firmware update, probably for me. I'm not gonna spill the beans on all this right there, but it's not just for me. It's gonna be for everybody. Where there's not gonna be any latency in the channel switching. There's a little bit of a latency in the All right, a little better, a little more in tune right there, right? Trippy. So any questions about any of this stuff, really, really cool. Get dirty. Lots of stages of overdrive in this pedal, for sure. You love it. Tone is tight. Yeah. It's good. Sweet Home Alabama. I can't play that. I could play Free Bird, but I might get a penalty for giving you a free bird. It's like a twang. See that? The D? Here it is. You know what? I'm going to give you a little bonus thing right here. A lot of times if your intonation sounds out, not like that, you may be putting your arm on the body of the guitar while taking the neck and pushing it forward, not even knowing it. So check out what happens if I do the. Whereas if I just don't pressure on the body, it's more on. Light touch, and don't bend the neck against the body, because if you're pressing down on this arm heavy and this hand is pushing forward, what you're doing is you're going like this. You're taking the neck and you're stretching it, and the note's going to be your chord's going to be out of tune. So just a little bit of advice. If you're trying to play in tune. I might not be the best person to give that advice though right now. So, yeah. Now, that is like two of the most popular minor scales you're ever going to use in your life right there. Are those two. Minor scale and the Dorian mode. You know, like I was saying before, you could use the Dorian over a major because it's a very bluesy sound where you're, you're playing stuff like if you had like an E blues. You know, you played the minor pentatonic over there, right? Minor blues scale. Well, you could use the Dorian scale there too, because you have that sixth. That sixth degree, major sixth, is in the major pentatonic scale. Right there. That's that Allman Brothers sound thing. That's the major pentatonic, but that same note is in the minor Dorian. So you can go. Wait. But instead of playing major, you got that. So it's really, the Dorian's almost closer to the major pentatonic, except you have the minor note. Like, you know, you have that. So many times you'll hear that lick right there. That double stop. Like. You know what I mean? That's the major sixth. That's the Dorian mode. You don't do that with minor. It's too far away, the distance between the 7th degree and the 6th degree. There's a half step. Here's a whole step in. Doesn't sound as good. But if you want it to be more like melancholy, playing the minor scale. Right? Something like that. Or if you want it to be a little bit more bluesy, you play the E Dorian. Eddie Van Halen used that all the time. He used the Dorian and the blue note. So we had all this going on right here. Check it out. Like this. Hit the Dorian, then the flat 5, the 4, and the minor third. So you had all this. Here you go. You have all of them. This symmetrical thing. It's just the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All the way down the neck. It's all in the minor progression. And mix it up. Do something like this. Skip strings. Sounds terrible, but it's fun. Listen to the difference of minor now. Alright, hopefully you're getting somewhere with this. Hopefully I'm getting somewhere with this. Hopefully you enjoy it. Sweet Home Alabama. I'm not going to play that because I'll get penalized. I can play this part of it. See, it sounds out of tune. Let's fix that. By tuning it. Right there. Something close. Right, here's the sound. It's more like this, right? It's kind of like... Or is it cleaner? There you go. You can go. Or you can go. You go. Going off the rails a little bit, having some fun with you guys. Alright, so any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. We don't have to go too long today. It's just a quick little thing. So E minor, Aeolian, key of G. Look at all the chords in the key of G we can use there. It's 1 o'clock on the circle. You got G to E minor. You've heard this progression before. E minor scale. D, E. How about A minor? B minor. Still, same scale. It's melancholy. A minor. B minor. E. So all those chords, you play one scale right through that, E minor. You know, when I went to the A, check it out, you can play that same scale. But check it out, if you look at the A note inside that E minor, you got A. You got a different type of A scale here, you get A. And then the B is like here. So you're playing like modes within the key right there. You're actually playing modes. When it goes to A, and you play the E minor scale, but starting from A, you're actually playing an A Dorian scale right there. When you go to B, you're actually playing a B Phrygian. Harmonic minor. That's a whole nother thing right there. Just changing one more note makes that sound. Any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. This is really fun. Hang out and play some more music here. You know, we want to play E Dorian. What are we doing? We're playing E, same minor chord, but now we're not in G anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in G anymore. We're in D. So check out all these chords. Look at 2 o'clock on that circle of fifths. D. You got D chord, Sweet Home Alabama. You have the G, the 4 chord. You have an A. You have that E minor. That's the 2 chord now. It's under G. It's relative to G, right? So you can play an E minor, play an A, a D, back to an E. Play B minor. No, you can't play B minor. Oh, you can right there, D. So you get an E minor, B minor. That's pretty cool progression right there. See you later. You know, that B minor happens to be an it's an Aeolian B. It's a B Aeolian in a E Dorian. So you got the over that B chord. So the E minor, B, A, G, T. So there's a difference. It's really more of just a feel. There's going to be times where you're going to have to play E minor. There's going to be times you're going to have to play E Dorian. And I wanted to point this out because it's 2 very similar scales. There's only 1 note difference. And it goes in every key. You may be in A minor. Same thing, right? It's the same sound, but it's in a different key, A minor. A Dorian. It's always always that position. You'll see it when you're playing. I mean, look at it. It's A minor. It's that note right next to the fifth. And the Dorian's one step up there. And you can look at the circle of fifths and you go, okay, well, A, how do I figure out what key that's in? Well, A minor is relative to C major. You see in the small circle where all those lower case keys are. You see the A minor is relative to C. So you have A minor, C. So you know that if you're playing A minor and then you're playing like to an F chord, to a G, you know that there's going to be a minor in Aeolian feel. Because you have the A minor, you have an F, and there it is, there's the F, that's the sixth degree. But if you were to play an A minor, you want a Dorian, well that's the 2 chord of G. So you're really in the key of G. So if you're playing, let's see, you played a D chord, if you had a D chord over that E minor, right, and now you're in the key of D, and you saw like a, no, we're in the key of A, sorry, I'm just getting a little confused here. A in the key of G, so you have the 4 chord and the 5 chord, so you know that's a Dorian. A minor, 2 chord of G. You have a D major there, so that's, you're hearing that third of the 5 chord. I mean, of this chord right there. It's a Dorian sound right there. It's in the key of G. I love doing that. So any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Thanks for spending some time here with me today. I think I pretty much covered all the essentials here for today. I do have a guitar course called the Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. I'll put that in the top of the description there, and it's really cool. I go in deep. There's 3 parts where I do fretboard memorization, then another part where I do the circle of fifths, which I go in deep on how to look at it, how to understand it. It's very simple, and I have backing tracks and graphs. And then I do a section on the blues, where I show different 12-bar blues progressions and scales, and I play. And I have tons of backing tracks that come with it, blues progressions, chord progressions for the circle of fifths charts. So check that out in the description. It's called the Essential Skills Collection for Guitar, and I would appreciate that. So thank you so much. Any questions about this, let me know. I go live every Sunday at 12, except for it's hard when I'm here on the road doing it so much, but I'm going to try next Sunday. Let's take a quick look excuse me, at the calendar here and see if I'm able to go live next Sunday. Next Sunday is the 21st, and I'm playing again here in Busch Gardens. We're playing every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 shows a day. So we're playing that day, and I think the next day we're traveling to over to Boca Raton. I'm going to play shuffleboard with the seniors over there. I'm almost a senior, so what am I talking about? So yeah, it might be, I don't know. It depends. It could be Sunday or Monday, but I'll keep you posted in the community chat. I usually, community chat, it's more like community post. I'll put a post up there about when I'm going to go live. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll see that. But only subscribe if you really like this channel. So thank you very much for that. Thanks for hanging out with me here on a Tuesday, special Tuesday. I'm going to wrap it up here just a minute. But if you have any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Thanks, Paul. And thank you, Scott, hanging out for a little bit. Really appreciate it. And Ozman, Jeffrey Boyle. You guys are all really awesome. Thank you so much for the time. And you guys rock playing these scales right here. Really enjoying it. E minor. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the non-freezing weather. Yeah, I might even go for a swim a little bit later. Where are you tuning in again from, Scott? I always forget. Got to be up north somewhere. If it's freezing. Jeffrey Boyle, what about yourself? We're going to wrap it up and say goodnight to you. But I want to know where you're freezing from. I know that it's been really, really cold up in the Northeast. We were in, last week, we started the tour, we were in Rhode Island and Boston and Tarrytown. And the storm came in as we were leaving, you know, and then we came to Florida and it was just raining all the time. Yeah, like monsoons, buckets of water coming down on us. So, Chicago, the Windy City. So you got that lake thing going on right by Lake Michigan that just cranks that cold air right into you, man. Gotta have some thick skin to be out there, Scott Olson. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. I think I'm gonna put some videos, some relevant videos here in the description about what we're doing today, circle of fifths and diatonic chords, roller keys. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll do. It'll probably pop it a little bit later today, but right in the corner I'll put the video that I did on the 7 diatonic chords, which is really, really important. Or better yet, I'll put up the video of the, I think I did a video where it's how to learn the circle of fifths in 7 minutes. Really cool. Yeah, it was bad. It's bad. So, all right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me here in my hotel room here in Tampa Bay. Gonna go out and get some dinner now. I just finished a show and rushed over here, you know. I did 2 shows, 11:30 and 1:30. And then right afterward, I ran to the stage, I grabbed my pedal board, put it in the bag, rushed home to prepare a little bit more to, not home, but back to this hotel, which is right across the street. And I was walking and I caught a ride from Ben, the sound guy, who's a really good friend. And I met him in 2010 when I played here the first time with Chubby Checker. Played here in 2010, 2016, and then I came here the last 2 years with the ABBA tribute. So I've been here a few times now, and it's a cool place. Gonna go on some of the roller coasters. If you haven't seen anything about Busch Gardens, check them out online. There's some of the best roller coasters in the world here. So excited about that. But I'll see you next week, either Sunday or Monday. Time to be determined. But thanks for hanging out. Really means a lot to me that you spent some guitaring time here with me, because it's the best thing in the world to do is play guitar. We all know that, right? Just ask my guitar. All right, y'all. So I love you, and if you want to see another video on the circle of fifths, learn the circle of fifths in 7 minutes. I'll put it right there. I love you. Be cool, be kind, and be cherry. And I'll see you throughout the week. All right? Have a good night. Have a great week. Love you. Peace.